What the fuck is up, my bitches? If you are new here, hello, my name is Brittany. In today's video, I'm sharing with you my most used makeup, at least I think, of 2021. This took me a bit, because I'm like, what did I love at the beginning of the year? Because as I was putting together things, I kept pulling things that I'm reaching for more recently, but then I went back on my channel, I'm like, oh, but wait, either this launched earlier this year, and just kind of looking back throughout the year, it's like, when it first came out, when I first started using it, and then I'm like, but what do I still use now, kind of thing. It was tricky. There's a lot. I'm sure there's some that I forgot, but you haven't seen all of these like that frequent on my channel, so some of these might surprise you. Either way, I'm excited to share with you guys because it's obviously makeup that I love, and I am wearing everything on my face right now. I tried to be like fairly limited on, you know, categories and stuff like that. So we'll see if you guys can guess anything that I love this year. But I will be doing like best of beauty, that's coming up too, and all that fun stuff. But if you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on your notifications. You already know the deal. Follow me on my socials. You get it. We go through this every single time. But today's video, it's so exciting because first of all, we're in BriTmas, everybody, right? Everybody knows we're in BriTmas mode. Today's video is the first collab of BriTmas, and are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Today's video is in collaboration with my girl, Patty Alonso. Like, first of all, do we need to talk about how fucking stunning? I'm just wondering, because I don't even remember. I know it was a video. I think it was like a perfect makeup tag or something like that. That's when I found Patty. And I was like, oh, I love her. Let me follow her. Because she did a collab with Morgan Turner for that. And I think I did actually a collab for that as well. I don't know. Either way, I ended up doing the video. That's how she found me. And now I'm just like, I feel like I found another little makeup friend. So Patty Alonso, she does incredible quality content. You guys already know, like, this is all about the makeups. That's what she focuses on. But my favorite videos that she does is her multiple looks with very specific palettes. Like, she'll dedicate a whole video to it, and she basically does like 5 looks, 1 palette sort of a thing. But I love her too because I feel like we like very similar type of products, except we never really talk about the same products. It's so bizarre because I'm like, all right, if Patty says she likes it, there's a really good possibility that I'm going to like it too. Because I feel like we do have quite a bit of overlap with like the types of products that we like, if that makes sense. Either way, if you like my recommendations, you will 100% love her. She's the one that put, I feel, everybody onto this refresh spray. So if you guys have not subscribed to Patty yet, make sure you guys subscribe. Follow her on her socials. Let me show you guys in case you haven't seen her before, because look at, she's crushing it. She's also doing Vlogmas as well. She's basically uploading every single day in the month of December. Look at, like, first of all, those thumbnails. I can't. Patty's here. Hi, Patty. Look at that. She's even one of the britches. We love that for us. Make sure you guys subscribe to her. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. She's always posting like her close-up eye pictures. She just fucking crushes it. Her looks are so beautiful. Patty, you the shit. I'm so glad Morgan brought you into my life. So again, follow her, and she already posted her most used makeup as well. So after this is over, make sure you guys go subscribe to her. Let her know I sent you. Let her know you're one of the britches, all right? Let's flood her with like hashtag britches, okay? So other than that, let's jump into all of my most used makeup because damn, it's a lot. So I'm going to go in the order of how I would apply things. I'm going to start with my face first, and then we'll do eyes after. I want to know too, what are your guys' most used products of 2021? Because you know what? Maybe I need to get more. Probably not. But we'll see. Okay, first thing, primer. I have 3 different ones. I know it's bougie. But they're for very specific things, and they're all different, and one is like a multi-purpose. So the first one is the Good Molecules, the silicone-free priming moisturizer. This is one of those primers that every time I come back to it, I'm like, why the fuck did I stop using this? Because I'm one of those people too, especially since I do late night lives a lot. I don't want to do my skincare again before my live and then take it right off. You know, it's like wasting your skincare almost. So with this one, it feels just like a moisturizer. So it's almost like a great refresh for my face. but then it's super inexpensive. It has no fragrance in it. Like, I feel like every single skin type would love this. They used to sell a bigger version of this, and I was having a hard time linking it for you guys because everything's linked down below that I could at least fit in the description box. If I mention anything and you guys want a link for it, just leave a comment, but I'm pretty sure I got majority of the stuff. But this one, it's like $10, I think, for this little thing, and especially if you have more, I'm gonna say, like, problematic skin, because your skin really isn't gonna react to this, I don't think. So this is, again, it's like every time I come back to it, I'm like, why did I stop using it? Because I think makeup lays really nicely on top of it, and it's super hydrating. Again, it feels like a moisturizer. So that one is fantastic. If you haven't tried it, it's available at Ulta now. Just saying. And did you guys notice that the Sephora sale is still going on for 20% off, everybody? Everything that I mentioned at Sephora, I think, is all linked at Sephora as well down below. So if you're still shopping, you know, one-time purchase. I'm already building my cart to place an order, but I'm waiting for one specific product to drop, and then I think I'm going to place my order. So you'll probably see my Sephora haul maybe in January. Anyways, let's go to my next primer. Now, this is technically not a primer, but this is how I use it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury, the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This I use as basically like an illuminating primer. I will also use this as a face highlight as well. I was toying between mentioning the Auric, what the hell is it called? The Glow Lust, is that what it's called? But this one, I reach for this way more just because I think it's because I like the packaging more because I'm using it on myself. I think the Auric would be better for like a freelance kit or something like that. But I like the fact that this gives me basically like a little bit of coverage, but not too much. It gives me like a Tin Man sort of a vibe because it's very illuminating, but it also gives my skin like a blurring effect. I don't use this every single time I do my makeup, but I feel like I reach for it either for primer or for highlighter just because it's gorgeous. I have the shade number 3, light medium. I feel like now I should probably go down to like number 2, but they also have this in a mini now. I would suggest like buy a mini because I've had this for years and I still have so much product in here. so much. So the last primer I have, this was actually thanks to you guys because this was a gift to me. And it kind of sat in my collection for a while and I'm like, I just don't really know how to use this because it's so light coverage. And then we were in a live chat one day and you guys had recommended use it as a primer and I've used it ever since. It's the Chanel Le Beige, what is it? The Water Fresh Tint. I know Chanel's canceled right now on TikTok. Holy fuck. Everybody's going nuts. But this, I like it because it feels like it gives that like blurring effect because I have really large pores in this area right here. And something like this, it just almost gives the illusion that your pores are more minimized. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but your pores ain't going fucking nowhere, okay? It's just, your pores are what it is. But when I find products like this that make them look more minimized or they almost give that blurring effect, those are the types of products that I like because I have a lot of texture, large pores, and stuff like that. So this one, it's super spency, but I'm like, for how much I've used this in such a short time, because I use this basically underneath all of my makeup. You guys see me apply it all the time as well. So those are my primers. I know, bougie AF, but very specific, okay? Very specific purposes, all right? So then I would go to concealer. There was 2, but I'm going to save the other one for a different video. So if I had to look back and see which one I used the most this year, we've got to go with Dior. The Dior Forever Skin Correct. I currently have the shade 3N, which is on my face right now. I feel like right now I should be probably a 2N, but it's fine. But I went through a full size of these. I repurchased it. I think I just got this at the most recent Sephora sale. I love this. It's the most natural looking, I would say like medium coverage. Like I like the fact that like my imperfections still kind of peek through. It's beautiful. I feel like especially if you have more textured skin, more mature skin, this would be one of the best concealers if you don't need something that's like super high coverage. So this one, guys, let me know in the live chat. I see all you guys commenting. Let me know like each category that I get to what your favorites are because obviously you guys want to know what other people like too, right? So what was your must-have concealer or your most used concealer from 2021? Let me know. Let's do it for the whole thing, the whole shebang, okay? So then I would do like cream contour, cream bronzer. I used and found really good ones this year, but I still use the Charlotte Tilbury, the Hollywood Contour one the most. I have the shade Fair Medium. It's on my face today. There's just something about this one. Like, I know I compared this to the KVD one. I think it's the packaging that I like so much about this. I don't know. It's just I always come back to this, and now I just basically do like 3 little dots in every section. It's perfection. And tell me that this is not the most like user-friendly cream contour you've ever used if you've tried this. This is always sold out. I'm pretty sure it's sold out at Sephora again. I'm pretty sure it's sold out at Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of those products. It's like if you're eyeing it and you're interested in it, you need to get it like as soon as you see it come back in stock, because it's definitely gonna sell out again because it sells out every fucking time. And there's other products from Charlotte Tilbury I'm gonna talk about, but I feel like this is the one that it's just like, it's so user friendly, especially if you're newer to like cream contour, cream bronzers. It's gonna change the game for you. But for my bronzer, because that gives me a really beautiful contour, it's like a perfect neutral. I used the shit out of the Tower 28, the Bronzino bronzers. These launched, I think, last year, technically. I went through a full size, like, there's only a full size. I went through one of these this year. And I'm already, like, making a dent in the other one. I use this more, like, specifically in the summertime because it has the most gorgeous, like, golden sheen to it. I'll do some swatches for you guys today. But I've done a dedicated video to these bronzers. I just love how it has that, like, gold reflect to it. It's so gorgeous. I have that on my skin today as well. This is one of the best cream bronzers for me because it's super easy to work with and it has like a perfect amount of dew to it too. I love products that have like a dewy effect. I don't know why, I just do, especially for like blush, bronzer, highlighter. Bronzer, I have to be careful because it's like, I obviously don't want it to be too luminous, too crazy, but that was one that I'm just like, oh my god, I fucking love it. But second to that one, I don't know. I have to get out some makeup wipes. I don't know if this is still available. But when I tell you how much I use this a lot off camera. Just because I know it went out of stock and I don't think it's come back since. And the shade range is also trash. This Hourglass, the Illume Sheer Color Trio. I had to get this from the Hourglass website. If you could see the dent that's in this bronzer, like, Hourglass is fucking up by not doing, like, singles of their cream bronzers. Like, the blush and highlight is fine, but this bronzer, it's the shade, it's the texture. This is just such a fantastic formula. It looks like nothing. It kind of reminds me of the the Milk Makeup, the matte bronzer stick, except this is a little bit more creamy and I think a little bit easier to manipulate. But either way, the Milk Makeup one is still super easy as well. But as far as like the shade and everything, like, it's just like a perfect bronzer. It's so good. So this one, I'm just like, I know I didn't feature it a lot on my channel, and sometimes it like sits in the back of my drawer and I forget about it, but then when I pull it back out, I'm just like, oh my god, like, Hourglass fucking nailed it with that formula. Like, why are they not expanding? I have no idea. Like, I have questions, Hourglass. Come on! Right? Oh my god, the Hourglass trio is bomb. It really is. It's especially the bronzer. It's so cute. Okay. So, after cream bronzer, I would probably we'll do cream blushes. Oh, fuck. Let's talk again for the millionth time about the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands. I cannot get enough of these. Like, these are the ones that I use for, I'm going to say, cream blushes. So I have Pinkgasm, and I also have Pillow Talk number 2 medium. I don't understand why Charlotte does not have like a full-blown, like, huge range of these in a plethora of different shades, because I would literally buy them all. The Pillow Talk number 2 I don't think is available anymore, but these were so slept on. The Pillow Talk ones that came out, I would say the not the bronzer, what the fuck? The number 2, I think, is just like the perfect, like, somewhat coppery blush. This is just a vibe I very much love for my blushes. But Pinkgasm, This one's going to be insanely hard to get. I just saw Michaela cover this on her TikTok the other day, and it's already hard to get because it's so popular and it's so just like coveted. But those are such good cream blushes. It's ridiculous. And I actually like found out something interesting in my collection. Like as I was doing my makeup today, I couldn't figure out, I'm like, why do I love this Makeup by Mario soft pop blush stick, I think it's called? Yes. In the shade Earthy Pink. I'm like, there's something about this that is so special. And I couldn't figure it out until today. And I'm going to explain why when I get to my powder blush. Because one of my favorite powder blushes of 2021 looks exactly like this. Like, I have them both on my face right now. But this formula, I've used this a shit ton. And it's like, I feel like I haven't even made a dent in it. And I use it all the time. Like, I just basically run my brush through it. It has the most beautiful sheen to it. It kind of looks like the Charlotte Tilbury, except Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit more luminous. Like, it has a more, like, do I want to say, like, an ethereal sort of a glow? Very, like, angelic sort of a vibe. This one does not have nearly, like, the, not shift, like, the reflect, like the Charlotte Tilbury does. Both of them are spectacular. But another blush that I use the piss out of, like, I went through a full size of this as well, the Tower 28, the BeachPlease Golden Hour blush. This, to me, is just one of the most unique cream blushes as far as the shade of it goes. I feel like I've talked about this way too much. This would go, like, perfectly with, you know, the outfit that I have on right now. They're super intense. Like, they look super pigmented when you obviously swatch them like that. They have the most beautiful dew. They're not, like, shimmery. They have no sparkle in them whatsoever. It's the dew for me. But this one I use so much in the summertime. I actually wore this last night, if you guys saw my Instagram or my Insta story. I didn't take a good look at my makeup last night because I was in a rush. But this, I think, if I had to go through my entire collection and say, like, my most used cream blush, I think this would be it. Just because I think it's so unique. And I'm a big fan of, like, orangey tones. Love it. So then, I think that was it for cream blushes. Let's move over to... Let's segue into powder. So I'll start with like loose powders and pressed powders. I was going through my collection and I initially pulled out the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder for my loose powder. And I'm like, you know what? I use that a lot, but I honestly think I use the Hailey's Beauty, the Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder. I got this sent to me. I think they found me on TikTok and they sent me some stuff. This was my favorite thing that I got from Hailey's Beauty. So it's one of those powders, like, I didn't notice it until you guys had commented, like, how flawless my skin looked when I applied this. And I'm a big fan of loose powders, especially for, like, really getting in there with my large pores. Basically, I'll start setting the bottom and then work my way up so I have very minimal product, like, when I get up towards my eyes. Because I have a very specific routine right now, okay? Because the under eyes, I think they're looking pretty good today. They're not creasing. We're good. But the Hourglass one is still fantastic. It's probably a close tie to my most used. So I'm still going to mention it. Fuck it. Okay. So after my pressed powder, or my loose powder, I'll talk about pressed powder. Everybody knows this is coming. Chantecaille. This is the Flower Power Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. Again, I use this all the damn time, and it looks like I have not even made a dent in it. It's so fucking good. I've done a dedicated video to this year, and it just makes my skin look so fucking good. I'm not gonna say flawless, because that's unrealistic expectations, but pretty fucking close. If I do, basically, I'll do this powder first. Very, very light amount of powder I have to use. So then I'll do the rest of my makeup, whatever, and then I'll basically just finish off my face with this one. And it's so good. It's so expensive. It's like $70+. But I regret nothing. I bought this one, and then they actually sent me the other two shades. Like, there's two shades, but they sent me the new packaging, so I have a replenishment of this one. I do prefer the new packaging because I think it's just much more like the Chantecaille vibe. This, I think, is, like, cutesy and fun. Like, the packaging is the main reason why I bought this. Because I'm like, it kind of gives me, like, Polly Pocket vibes, right? It's such a good product, though, but I do prefer just because Chantecaille is like a bougie brand, you know? The other packaging definitely reflects more of the brand itself. So that's it for my powders as far as like setting powders. But I do want to mention a palette real quick. This is going to have like a couple different products specifically. I have to talk about the Ambient Lighting Edit the Universe palette. I use this so much, like especially for, it's so funny because nobody really likes this Infinity powder and I fucking love it. So I use the Infinity powder a lot, but this bronzer specifically is so good. Like, might be better than Luminous Bronze Light, but I haven't compared them side by side. This is just, in my opinion, the better of the two palettes that they did for holiday. I think if you like a more vibrant blush, like, I wish that they did almost like the blushes in the other palette were in here. Or if this bronzer was in the other palette, that would have made so much more sense to me. But these, they're super expensive. They're $80 for these palettes, but I reach for this all the time. Like, I know this is still relatively new, but the amount of times that I've reached for it, the amount of times that I feel like I've talked about it, I've used this a ton on camera, but I think I've even used it just as much off camera. So I still really love that one. And then we're just going to get bronzers out of the way. Sound good? I'm kind of surprised at myself because I expected to pick Luminous Bronze Light from Hourglass, but I feel like, honestly, this is my most used bronzer of this year. The VIEVE, the Modern Bronzer, I have the shade Medium. And it's just like, it looks like nothing fantastic. It looks like nothing extraordinary. It's the way VIEVE products look on the face. It's incredibly skin-like. They're really easy to use. I have to be careful with the darker shade, especially at like my complexion tone right now, because it can look a little bit muddy if I use too much, but this is the one that I mainly use. I still love my Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light, like still one of the best bronzers, if not the best in my collection. But this, I love this packaging as well. Like, this was just, I think, a bougier step for VIEVE because they usually do like the cardboard packaging. I just really love this. So ever since this came out, I think that this is probably my most used. If it's anything comparable, it might be Hourglass or it might be this. Those are probably the top two that I used this year. But either way, still fantastic. So that's where I picked for bronzers. Now we can do blushes. This was the one I was like, Patty, do you have like several per category? Because I'm having a hard time with this one. So I'm very specific with blush. Like, there's different things that I consider. I'm like, okay, the formula, the shade, the time of the year, several different things I consider, okay? So if I had to pick my most consistently used one, I think I would pick the VIEVE Cherub Sunset Blush. I don't know why this surprised me so much. I think it was just because it's so different for what I typically go for. Like, I usually like a more, like, burnt orange. Like, basically, like, the color of my shirt and a blush is what I love. Like, Becca Songbird, stuff like that. So this one, I was just like, it's so, so different. I do not have the Victoria Beckham bronzer. I just saw that got asked in the live chat. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe next year. We'll see. So this blush, it's the way that VIEVE products look on the cheeks. Incredible. Highlighters, blushes, bronzers, literally everything complexion. It just has the most beautiful skin-like look to it, and it doesn't look powdery. So this one, it's more specifically like the shade and the formula. But I feel like if people like remembered me talking about a blush a lot. Ooh, sorry, I just hit my microphone. I feel like I talked about this palette a lot. Like, anytime Scott Barnes has a sale and this is included in it, I'm like, yup, run, don't walk. This palette, I just think, is so unique. Actually, this shade here kind of looks like Cherub. I love mixing these all together, but it's the undertones, it's the shades, it's the finishes. I love the fact that there's highlighters in here as well. I just think that this is the best Scott Barnes product that he's done. And I'm pretty sure that I got this year, and I used the piss out of this, and when I did freelance this year, this was the blush palette that went with me, so I definitely used that one a lot. But I also have to mention Hermes, baby, because these blushes, like, yes, they're so expensive. I'm not like blown away by the packaging as far as like I wish it was heavier. I wish it felt more luxurious. But the overall aesthetic is very, very Hermes. Like, I still am really happy. Like, I'm still so happy that I bought fucking 3 of these. But it's the shade 61 Rose Faux. This is my perfect blush. I love the shade of this. I think it's just a fantastic formula. Like, again, I know they're so expensive, but the way that these look on the skin, and I do feel that using the Hermes blush brush with these works insanely well. Like, I don't know if that was intended. I'm sure it was for the fact that it launched with the blushes. This is the shade, and then this is just the shit that I love. Like VIEVE, they have that very skin-like finish to them. Like, it just looks like a perfect flush on your face. And then the fact that that has the most, like, perfect undertone for me. Yes. And then, this one's currently sold out, but when this came out, oh, bitch, I feel like if you looked at every product that I've talked about today, this one looks the most used because I don't know what it is about me. I think it's because I want to keep everything, like, in as good of shape as I can. But this, I'm just like, do y'all see how used that is? Like, all the embossing is basically gone. This is the Chanel Fleurs de Printemps Duo Blush, or no, Blush and Highlight Duo. I think this launched in the spring. This is the other blush that's on my face right now. This is the one I was talking about when I was like, okay, why do I love this so much for Makeup by Mario? These look so similar. Like, basically, earthy pink in the Makeup by Mario is the cream version of this duo. And I love the fact that it's like a matte, but it's not really a matte. It kind of looks more of like a satin on the face. There's the matte, and then there's also basically like the highlighter. I love to mix these together. I just think this is what really made me fall in love with Chanel. Like, I was gifted quite a few things from Chanel, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, I really like their stuff. And then I bought this, and I'm like, oh, shit. Because their powders, especially, like, this is my thing. Like, I know I mentioned a lot of luxury. Luxury works best for my skin because I feel like luxury makes everything look better on textured skin or more mature skin. Even, I'm going to say, like, high-end luxury. When I get stuff at the drugstore, I'm like, I don't really feel like it looks that flattering. It's just something about, I think, the way that, like, high-end luxury brands design their products. But I'm like, this blush, that blush is gorgeous. This hair today is a hot mess. Oh my god, we forgot to do it today. The train's running a little late today, everyone. Okay, so that was all of the blushes that I had to choose from. Now we can talk about some highlighters, and same sort of a situation. Patty, how many of these are you mentioning? So, I have a few. One of them is, like, most used, like, no question. Use the piss out of it. That, I'm going to say, is the Scott Barnes. Same thing. I took this with me when I freelance. I love mixing these together. I love the shades. This is just a taste of everything. And I feel like Scott Barnes has one of the best formulas for if you have textured skin, but if you like a crazy, like, beaming highlight. There's something about his formula that looks really, really flattering. Like, I'm not going to say that it doesn't accentuate texture because every fucking highlighter will, especially powders, but it's how beaming his formulas are and how much you would expect your texture to show, but it doesn't. That's why I love my Scott Barnes. So I always recommend if you're going to buy Scott Barnes, don't ever pay full price. He always has sales. He just had 40% off. He usually has 30% off or at minimum 20, like, very, very frequently. So I always recommend don't pay full price. But that was where I'm like, all right, that was probably most used consistently, yada, yada, yada. But this was another one. Same with the blush. I'm like, you could visually see how much I've used this. This is the Chanel Perles de Lumiere. This is actually still available. I thought it was sold out. This is just a beautiful highlight for me when I am deeper in complexion. So, like, summertime, bitch. Again, I just think that luxury looks so flattering on texture. That's why I love this so much. if you were to compare it next to like other like golden tone highlighters, you're gonna be like, yeah, nothing super like different. It's the way it looks on the skin. Not gonna harp too much on it. But if I look at my collection and I'm like, I feel like the most used as far as like whenever I go out, this is the one that I reach for now because it's so special. Like, you're definitely gonna see this in Best of Beauty, like, no question about it. The Dior Forever Couture Luminizer. But this shade specifically, it's what's on my face today. It's on my cheek, it's on my brow bone, and it's on my inner corner. This shade, it looks like it's stark white, but clearly it's not. This is the shade, what is it? I think it's 03 Pearlescent Glow. I feel like I've talked so much about this, and I really want to drive it home how beautiful this is. You know how when I always swatch the Fenty Beauty highlighter, I always say it's like Edward Cullen skin? This is just like that, except the formula is completely different. Like, this formula, it has those super fine glitters, so that's where you get like the Edward Cullen skin. But do you see, like, when you look at my face, do you see how it has, like, the most subtle, like, blue shift to it? But it doesn't look crazy. It's almost, like, trippy because you're like, wait, is that, like, silver? Is it blue? Is it lavender? Like, what is it? This is unlike any highlighter that I have in my collection because of the shade specifically. Like, the formula, I love Dior. It's one of my favorite brands for highlighters. But it's, like, the effect, I wish you guys could truly see that glitter moment. Again, think like Fenty Beauty How Many Carats, except not in a putty form. That's the vibe. Look at the face, you see it. Listen, I see you guys talking about the Westman Atelier. If I had bought that earlier this year, you would have saw that in today's video. But I just bought that like 2 weeks ago? You're going to see that in another video, no question, though. So that was my picks for my highlighter. Then I'll talk really quick about some setting sprays. I've got, I think, an unpopular opinion about this one. The Dezi, the Do Me Over. I am, like, shocked at how fast I went through this, but that's what tells me, obviously, I used it a lot. But I feel like still, I probably used this other one probably just as much, but I just went through this, like, insanely fast. This setting spray, little review, I don't think it's, like, the bomb.com. I noticed, like, the lower, because mine's already all the way down to here. The lower that the spray gets, the less I like the mister. Like, when you first get this, the mister is incredible. Like, one of the best misters that I've come across. But as I get down, I notice it's a lot more spotty on the face, but I think that this is meant for not like a setting spray. It's meant for like a refresher spray. Like, it's literally like a prep, set, and refresh. I personally would not reach for this for a setting spray. I think more of like prep, set sort of a vibe, but even still, I'm like, I don't think it's worth that. I don't think it's that great. I think there's other ones that are just as good, if not better. I think what really drives this one home is like the mister. But I think if I had to pick a favorite, like, most used this year, it's the Hourglass Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. I'm actually almost done with this one. I think I already went through a full size of this last year, and then this is my second one, I think, and then I have a third one in my drawer. I keep repurchasing this. There's something about, first of all, the super fine mist, but I swear this is like Facetune in a setting spray. There's something about whatever's in this that makes your skin look angelic. I feel like that's where Hourglass really nails it for me, is basically everything except for their, like, foundations. Their liquid products aren't ever my favorite, but their powders and, like, complexion I think looks so, so good. But, yeah, their, like, foundations concealer needs a little bit of work. So that one, I would say, is my probably most used. And then let's go to like eyes and brows. So if I had to recommend, let's do brows first. Fuck it. We'll do brow pencil. This is the most used. I feel like everybody's gonna know this. Huda Beauty, the BOMBBROWS Microshade brow pencil, I think this is called. This is my most used, most repurchased ever since I found this, I think like a few months ago. I think I've flown through like 4 or 5 of these already. Every time I buy them, I buy 2 at a time because of how fast you go through them. It's not that terribly priced, so it doesn't really bother me. And the effect that it has on my brows is why I like it so much, because it's so precise. Like, I feel like it just makes my brows look the absolute best when I use a pencil. I still think my brows might look a little bit better when I use a powder, but that one is the winner as far as like my most used brow product. And then I also wanted to mention the Legendary Brows Micro Precision Tinted Brow Gel from Charlotte Tilbury. This, I think, is my most used simply because I bought it at the beginning of the year, and it was expensive for a brow product. So I'm like, yeah, let me make sure that I use that. But I think that there's another one that I found that I like more than this, but this is still a really nice brow product. I think that there's something about like the formula and the applicator, because it has like a really tiny, precise applicator. That was the main reason why I bought this. But when I comb this through my brows, it almost gives like a really beautiful, I'm gonna say like powder effect. It's very strange. Like, I feel like when I use this, it looks almost like I applied a powder in my brows. It almost gives the illusion of like a softening effect, maybe. I don't know, like my hairs don't ever look like super stark. My hairs don't feel like there's hairspray in them or anything like that. It's still a really great product, but I just am like, I think the one that I'm using now is just a little bit better. But maybe I need to compare them side by side. I don't know. It's still good. So I'd still recommend it. But then we can move to like eyelashes, liners, and shit like that. So let's do mascara. I think my most used this year was the Hourglass Unlock, the Instant Extensions mascara. I haven't really been using that much now, but when the first half probably of the year, this was like all that I used. I prefer tubing mascara, as you guys already know this by now. But this one, I'm just like, it's so good. I love the packaging. It reminds me a lot of the Thrive, but I need to compare them side by side. But this one, it's just like, it's a good tubing mascara. That's why I love it. And then as far as like eyeliners, like I don't do a crispy wing like hardly ever, but when I do, I use the Tom Ford, the eye defining pen. I've had this thing for years, and I'm over here like, I don't understand how this has not dried out like 4 years ago. This is going so strong. This is one I'm like, this is definitely worth the investment if you like a wing liner, just because it's gonna last so damn long. So it's got the 2 ends, which I think is also fantastic, because depending on what kind of look that you're doing or just overall like what you're favorable for, that's the swatches for you. Great packaging, great product. Again, it's not something that I use all the time, but even if I like put lashes on and I get like a little bit of black glue, like I'll go over it with this. It's one of those things that, no, I don't use it a lot, but if I did run out of it or it did expire or whatever the case is, I would still repurchase this again, even though it's like, I feel like it's like $90 or something crazy like that. But that is, if I'm reaching for like a liquid liner, that's the one I'm reaching for, because it has a brush tip as well, which I'm favorable towards a brush tip. I know a lot of people like the felt tips. I like the brushes. So that's just me. And then we have eyeliners, like the waterline. The one waterline the one that I use for my waterline, it's no longer available. And you can't find it anymore. And I actually just went through it. Like, I just threw it out. So you'll see that in a future empties. But the Marc Jacobs Highliner in the shade Pink of Me, it pains my soul to say that it's not available anymore, because that was one of the best eyeliners like ever. It was the most beautiful, most perfect pastel pink liner. But I'm hoping to see something come out again from Marc Jacobs. I don't know what's going on. I did find like a temporary replacement for it, so it's fine. But if I'm talking about a nude liner, I've been reaching for Makeup Geek. There's a retractable version and then a sharpener version. I just picked up the sharpener version, so I was using the retractable one before that. Both are fantastic. Like, they're super creamy. They lasted my waterline. And it's like one swipe and you're going to have pigment. They're really, really nice. So Makeup Geek, I would definitely recommend for eyeliners. And then for like my black or like my deeper toned, I always use the Wayne Goss. Wayne Goss, I think, makes some of the best like pencils that are the sharpened ones. but they're super pigmented, except I do find that I like to build these. But I like the fact that they have like a slightly delayed drying time. So if you're working like, if you want to do like a smudge type of look or whatever, you could easily use these and you could still have time to like work with it and then it will set down. But these for me, like, they last all fucking day. Like if you saw my Insta story this morning of, I think I had fun last night. I'm pretty sure this was still in my waterline just because I'm like, it's so good. I know that not everybody has the same experience that I do with these. Like, some people say that these don't last at all. I find that they're fantastic. And they're super pigmented. I have every shade that he has come out with. That's how much I love them. So, I would say the black is probably my most used, but I love his brown liners as well. Damn, I feel like I'm rambling so much, but are you guys enjoying yourselves? And then let's talk really quick about lashes and lash glue. This was my favorite find as far as like lash glue goes because it's the Duo 2-in-1 Brush On Strip Lash Adhesive. I love this one because you had the black on one side and the clear on the other. Like something so just like, okay, like, I don't know. There was something about this that I'm just like, I love having both. I love options because I find now that I use more black glues. So something like this for me now, I don't really need. But back before I was, like, as experienced with putting on lashes, I would always use a clear because I would always, like, stick it to my eye. Don't get me wrong, I still do that. But I just liked having this, like, basically stepping my toes into using a black glue because I think black glue does look a lot better. Like, it just looks a lot more, like, clean and crispy, you know? So this one, I'd still recommend it, especially if you're trying to transition from, like, clear to black, but you don't want to fully commit yet. So I use that one a ton. I also use the Baddie B one a lot, but I think that the Duo one was the one that I repurchased the most. And then if we're talking about lashes, do I even have them out right now? I have them on my eyeballs, but the Kiss 11s or the Kiss 01s, the Kiss lashes are like my favorite. They're super inexpensive. You can get them at Walmart for like $9 for like one of these 5 or 6 packs. They're better than Ardell, in my opinion, because Ardell, I used to love them, but something changed with their band. These are just the lashes that I'm like, if you struggle with applying lashes, the band is so thin, and, like, it's the perfect amount of, like, wispiness. The length is perfect for me. These are 100%, like, I've used these for years, and I still use them the absolute most. I love them, but I would go with the 11s or the 01s. The 01s are basically the same style as these. They're just longer. So when my lashes look really long and really wispy, it's probably the 01s. But if they look just like, basically like what I wish my lashes looked like without false lashes, I would go with something like this. They're perfect. Tammy, I know. I like the Ardell, but they changed. Like, something with the Ardell changed. And it was with the band. But it's fine, girl. I still appreciated it. Okay, let's move over to, we'll do lips and then we'll finish off with the eyes. Sound good? I think that was everything. Like I said, if I forget something, it's okay. We have plenty of selection for today's video, right? So let's talk really quick about lip liners. I think my most used of 2021. This was hard because I don't use lip liners all the time because there's certain lip products that I'm going to talk about you don't really need a lip liner. And it depends on the color. But if I had to pick brand-wise, I think I would go with VIEVE. The VIEVE Brat is basically like what I feel I've gone through the most, even though it doesn't really look like it. I don't know what it is about me and going through makeup. It's like it takes me fucking forever. Maybe I'm like too gentle on my products. Whatever, it's fine. So the VIEVE Brat is basically like my lips but better. I feel like out of all of my lip liners, this or maybe like Gerard Cosmetics Share, but I think I went through that more last year. But this is the thing with like having a bigger collection as well. Like you don't go through shit. So I would think it would be VIEVE Brat. And as of recent, like just going by how recent I got these and how much product I've already gone through, the BK Beauty, the Everlast lip liner in the shade Sweet Pea. Let me swatch it for you. This is what I always use whenever basically I use those BK lipsticks, and we're going to talk about those in just a moment. let me swatch BRIT for you guys as well so you guys could see it. So if you're wondering like what my lips look like, it's probably really close to that. So you've got the VIEVE here, and then Sweet Pea from BK Beauty there. I do prefer usually a more like a sharpener style. I think I'm really going to end up liking the Melt Cosmetics ones because I just picked up the shade Sepia for those, but we're not talking about that. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the most used of 2021. These are them. Okay? At least what I think is the most used. And then we can talk about some lipsticks, and then we'll do liquid lipsticks, and then lip glosses. So this is like my ride or die bitch. I cannot live without NARS Anna. I feel like this is one that whenever people ask me what I'm wearing, it's a good possibility that it's this if it looks more like purpley toned. I love shades like this. I love this formula. I love the packaging. I love literally everything about the NARS Audacious. Love it. I have, what, 5 or 6 different shades. One of my favorite formulas. But if we look back to the summer, like spring, summer, I used the shit out of these lip cheeks. Yes, lip cheeks from Chantecaille. In these 2 shades, I used Cappuccine, which this launched with that Flower Power collection. I love this formula because it looks just juicy. Look how gorgeous. Like, that is my lip in the summer at all fucking times. But this formula is what keeps me coming back. But then even this shade here, it was just so different for my collection. And again, in spring and summer, gorgeous. That's the shade Coral Belle. And I think that they sent me Coral Belle, and then I purchased Cappuccine. But yeah, spring and summer, these were my bitches. I wore these all the time. Highly recommend the lip cheeks from Chantecaille. And then this one, I have to mention it because I reach for this all the time now. Like, even though it just came out, the fact of how many times I've worn it in the very small amount of time that I've had it, it's the BK Beauty lipstick in the shade Acceptance. This is another one. Whenever I wear this, people are asking me what it is. But it's this formula. Like, if you love a satin lipstick formula, look at that shade. That is perfect. It's so, so good. It's like the perfect light pinky nude. For me, at least. But these lipsticks, damn it, I can't even get over, like, how impressed. Because I was expecting them to be good, but I'm like, damn, my lips look so good when I wear these. Like, all the shades are beautiful, but Acceptance is definitely, like, my most reach for. Great packaging, like, very reminiscent to, like, NARS as far as, like, you get the magnetic closure and everything. These feel very weighty. Like, these feel like they would be, like, luxury lipsticks. They're fantastic. I love them. So, that I would definitely recommend. Oh, let's do liquid lipsticks. Let's start off with one that you guys might not guess, but I still feel like I use this all the time, but I need to get a new one because I know damn well that this is expired. The L'Oreal Infallible, the Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Candyman. I don't know what it is about, like, a pinky purple moment on my lips, but this, look at that shade. Look at that shade. Tell me that that is not stupendous, and these smell like chocolate. Oh, it's like every time I put this on, I'm just like, oh my god, it smells so good. Look at that. No, I didn't forget foundation. Did I? I did. Oh my god. All right, I'll do foundation before I do eyeshadow palettes. How did I forget foundation? Guys, again. Fuck, I was on a roll. Damn it. All right, we'll do foundation after. Shit. I was doing so good. Okay, then let's talk about some Chanello. I wore these so much before I got the next product. So these were basically what I wore, specifically this shade. It's the La Rouge Duo Ultra Tenue Gloss in the shade Tender Beige. This was a gift, and I will cherish it forever, because this is what, like, introduced me to Chanel Beauty, and I'm so glad that I got this. But this was basically what I would wear for weddings before the next product that I'm going to talk about. These are definitely more drying in my opinion. Like, thankfully it comes with a gloss on the other side. So I think this is like such a good product for brides because it lasts, but then you have this beautiful clear gloss. Like, your lips look so fucking juicy with this gloss, and it's luxury, so it's like very bridal-esque. But it's basically just everything you need in one little packaging. Again, I used to film weddings with this all the time. But as soon as I got these liquid lipsticks, like, everything else just fell off the face of the earth. Because Alien Cosmetics, which is now known as Unearthly Cosmetics, they make the best fucking liquid lipsticks of all time. Fight me. That's very much how I feel about it. I'm wearing the shade Eerie right now. I mix these two, Eerie and Autumn, the most. I need more shades of these. Like, I need more liquid lips. I know they just did their satin formula, which is also amazing. Like, I know people rave about their eyeshadows. I know. They're fantastic too. But these are so fucking slept on. They're lip products in general. So let me give you a swatch of Eerie, which you're seeing it on my lips right now. But this is a little swatch for you. And then I'll swatch Autumn. But I have every single shade of these. That's, again, how much I love them. Because this formula, one, it's insanely long lasting, but it's not drying on the lips. If you purchase these off of my recommendation, let the people know. Okay? Come through in the live chat. So it lasts insanely long, but I feel like, look at how smooth my lips look. You don't need a lip liner when you use these. Solid, like, incredible formula. I feel the same way about their satin formula as well. It's just like, it makes your lip look so smooth. Like lip lines wear. Love them. Okay, gloss really quick, and then I'll go to foundation. I can't believe I fucking forgot foundation. Holy shit. If I had to pick my most used gloss, Scott Barnes in the shade Blondie, which is what is on my lips right now. If you have not tried a Scott Barnes lip, especially his gloss, not that I need any more, but these are just the juiciest. Like, I never really liked a brush tip applicator before these, but there's something different about these that you can be so precise with your gloss, which is, I think, why I love it so much, because I basically do my gloss like exactly how he does now. I'll do it basically at the tops and at the bottom of my lips, just to, like, the high points, if you will. And then I'll do that. It's so good. Didn't Alien Cosmetics change their formula? They came out with a new one. She's talking about Unearthly Cosmetics. They did just rebrand too. So, the ones that I just talked about, these are the matte formula. But the ones that they just came out with are the satin formula. Both are fantastic. But anyways, let's go to foundation. Guys, I apologize if you were waiting for foundation. Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess what my favorite foundation is, or my most used foundation? Dior Airflash, baby. This is the best foundation of all fucking time. I don't care what anybody says. I could talk about so many foundations that I wore a ton this year, but none of them I wore more than the Airflash. Like, this was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I went through a full size of this. I repurchased it again this year. I'm probably going to purchase another one. This is what's on my face today, and it's just the most natural looking finished foundation. It's got the perfect amount of coverage. It's so insanely skin-like. See, y'all know. Y'all know. Airflash. I have the shade right now 2N, and then I also wear 3N and also 4N. I usually stick with the neutrals, but that's the shade that I'm currently right now. I feel like I could even probably go a little bit lighter, like a tiny amount lighter, but basically this is what I do. If my chest is like red or anything, I'll just basically spray a little bit more. I do that every fucking time. I inhale as soon as I spray it like an idiot. So if you have a routine that you wear a full face of foundation, like the first thing you do is put foundation all over your face, don't buy this. You'll go through it way too fast. If you do the underpainting technique like I do, I would highly, highly, highly recommend. if you do that, like, if you do, like, the traditional, I'm gonna say, like, if you do that routine where you do, like, the full face of foundation first, and you have purchased this, let us know, like, your feedback on it. I just feel like I go through it fast, and I use a very small amount of this. Like, I basically only have to cover this area. I'll kind of marry over, like, where I do my contour, my nose, and my forehead, and then on, like, my neck to even everything out. I do not use a lot of this, and I still feel like I go through it pretty quickly for being, like, $60+. But that's at least my opinion on it. But yeah, that was, like, without question, Dior Airflash. I feel like I didn't even need to say that, and you guys already know. Got it during the VIB sale, did my recommendation. Yes, I love it. It's like, I feel like that's a foundation. I don't know if I've heard any bad reviews on it. Like, have you guys? I don't know. Any hoosies. Let's finish off with the, like, eye products. So I'm going to do eye primer and then palettes. I have 3 palettes that I'm going to talk about. Let's start with my favorite, like, most used eye primer. I gotta go with the Gerard Cosmetics The Clean Canvas. I love this shit. I have the shade medium right now, but I need to get another of the shade fair. I used up my fair. That's when you know how much I love this. I've tried other ones, and I'm like, to me, nothing compares to the Gerard Cosmetics The Clean Canvas. So it's my favorite / most used because it just mutes everything out. Like, it's essentially a concealer. So you get that completely blank canvas, and I feel like my just eyeshadows last so much better on top of it. It's just a product that I fell in love with it, and I have not been able to find anything to top it. I've tried a bunch of other ones, which Patty recommended. But, yeah, out of all the ones that I tried, like the Hourglass, the Milk Makeup, the Rare Beauty, nothing is better than that, in my opinion. So I highly recommend. If you're my skin tone, I would go with fair, or they have a white one, they have medium, and then a deep version as well. Love them. And then the palettes. Can y'all guess what palettes were most used for me? I don't think you guys are going to guess these. I don't think you will, because I use these more off camera than on camera. But if you saw me use anything the most on camera, I'm going to say it's this palette right here. This is the Makeup Geek, the Neutrals from the Matrix system. I swear this comes on my desk every single time I do my makeup for at least something. Whether it's my brows, whether it's an eyeshadow, this comes out every single time. Every time. Because Makeup Geek is one of those brands that I know what to expect. It's just, these formulas are so good. So good. But if I had to use, like, the most of something, it's definitely the shade right here. Isn't it funny, though? Because it's like, it looks like I don't use this at all. Actually, you know what? It's because I repurchased them all. But I can't remember if I repurchased them this year or last year. But I reach for these palettes all the time anyways. But the most used is definitely the neutrals. Especially for, like, my eyebrows. Love them. But then, if you're wondering what's on my eyeballs right now, one of my favorite palettes of 2021. I just think that this was well worth the money. It's fucking gorgeous. And every single time I wear it, people give me compliments, but I wear this in, like, day-to-day life, but especially when I go out. This is, like, I'm going out. I want, like, a glittery goodness eye look. The Vanity Makeup Signature Palette. This is everything that I wanted the Tati Beauty palette to be. Because I was not a fan of the Tati palette. I thought the formulas were really inconsistent. And I'm like, listen, I know this palette is $95. Packaging is comparable to Pat McGrath. If Patty's still here, Patty, did you get this palette? I want to see her use it if she hasn't. But this one, I'm just like, all right, people lost their minds. They're like, they shouldn't be charging $95. I'm like, bitch, you're out of your fucking mind. It's 100% worth that, in my opinion. Especially because these eyeshadows right there, the metallics are so gorgeous. But you know how I always talk about Scott Barnes? And how he has such a beautiful, like, sparkle texture? That's exactly what these have. And it's just, it's so good. It's one of those formulas I feel like you really do gotta work your finger in there, or almost like get past like the top layer, because as you get into these, it gets so much better. But even like the metallics, they're super shiny and reflective. I have this one like all over my lids right now. Tell me that that is not gorgeous. The mattes are fantastic. Like, this is my perfect basic bitch palette, and that's why I say it's worth every penny. This is just, it's so good. Like, if they came out with another palette, I would buy it in a heartbeat because of how impressed I was by not only the quality, but the packaging. Like, yes, more expensive, but if I'm getting those aspects of luxury, I don't care. I don't know, I was just like, why are people criticizing this brand for charging $95 when it's comparable to like a Pat McGrath palette, and hers are more expensive? I don't know, I just didn't understand. But this is one I think would definitely surprise you guys, because I have not featured this, I don't think, at all on my channel. But as soon as I got this, and it was like during wedding season, this became my wedding palette. I wore this in every, like, to film every single wedding. And that's the Natasha Denona, the Retro. I always want to call this something different, but this palette is so fucking good. Damn. I was like, you know what? It's like, I love mauvey tones because these are the tones that look so flattering on my green eyes. I'm a big fan of neutrals and mauvey tones and greens because of my eye color. I like to wear makeup. Like, there was a period where I felt like I was buying a lot of like super colorful eyeshadows and stuff, and don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for it. But I get the most compliments, like, if I do the most elaborate, colorful look, like, nobody will, like, look twice at it, in most cases. Unless you guys are, like, watching my videos and, like, you can appreciate, like, the makeup and the artistry and stuff. In a day-to-day life situation, if I wear neutrals or stuff that's flattering for my eyes, that's where people are like, oh my god. Like, and it's like, it's not just like, oh yeah, your makeup's really pretty. It's people come up to me, and it's almost like they're complimenting my Love Don't Be Shy perfume. People will, like, lose it. They'll be like, oh my god, you look so beautiful. It's just like all those compliments you'd love to hear, right? But this palette, I think it gives me all of that, and it's such a good palette. Like, the quality of these, I think, are so much better, because I do find that Natasha's palettes, to me, they can be a little inconsistent. Like, sometimes I'll get her eyeshadows, and I'm like, this doesn't feel the same. Like, when I just got the Biba, I think the quality of Biba shadows are better. So I'm like, something is definitely different, but I feel like this palette specifically, again, I know I didn't feature this, like, at all on my channel, but here it is. Here's the feature, because damn, that palette is just, it's so nice, especially for like a day-to-day basis sort of a look. I love it. So, oh my god, let me know, guys. That was everything that I had for my most used makeup of 2021. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Good call on you guys for, like, catching that I forgot to mention foundation, because the fuck. So, what do you guys think? Like, what were your, like, if you had to pick one product, because I was asking you guys to comment, like, as I was chatting about, like, each specific category. If you had to pick one product that was your most used, what would it be? I want to have a little chitty chat. How long have we been here? Not bad. Not only an hour. Okay, I expected to be here for, like, an hour and a half. Because if you are new, if you're coming over from Patty's channel, hello, welcome to the britches. I usually like to, like, cover my, basically, like, what I'm here to talk about. And then at the end, we'll have, like, chitty chats. So that's what we're going to do now. Now my phone's ringing and I don't know where it is. Love that for me. Where is it? It's fine. Okay, it stopped. I'm like, I wanted to turn that off for you guys. Let's see. Now it's going off again. Hold on. Let me turn this off, because that's going to drive me fucking crazy. And it's my mom. Hi, Mom. Okay. Brushes. Brit, what are your most grabbed? I think I'm going to do brushes in a separate video. Right? I think I'm going to do, like, yeah, like, my must-have makeup brushes for 2021, I think. Yes. I love the Airflash, and I use it in the traditional way. Really? Do you, like, fly through it, though? I know, I love how you're traditional. Patty, I can't wait to watch your video to see how many like similarities and differences we have. Because if you guys missed the intro, today's video was in collaboration with Patty. I feel like we have like so many products that I feel like we overlap like perfectly. Just based on, because I saw her thumbnail and I'm like, I have like none of those products. So I feel like when I watch it, I'm going to be like, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Good thing Sephora's 20% off still. Let's see. Hourglass Holiday Palette. Most used, but guess just came out. That's, listen, like some of these, like I even mentioned that same one. It just came out, but it's like, damn, I reach for it all the time. I'm not mad at it. The Dior Concealer, Vanity Makeup Palette, and the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush. I hate Natasha Denona blushes, but the other ones are good. If you guys picked up to the Vanity Makeup Palette, let us know your thoughts, because damn, I'm just like, I still feel like that does not have the hype I feel like it deserves. Let's see. Foundation, Chantecaille Future Skin, Powder, Chantecaille Blur Eyeshadow, Def, both Blend Bunny Brows, Huda. Alright, Blend Bunny I have yet to try, but I feel like I see so much Blend Bunny. So I feel like I need to try, but they're more like colorful shadows, right? I think so. Lancome Skin Feels Good Skin Tint. Use 4 tubes this year. See, that's like the shit that I wish that I could do, because like that's like, I guess the curse of being like a content creator, because it's like you're always bringing in new stuff. So it's so hard to actually go through things. I honestly wonder, like, if I were to really declutter, like what I would actually go through. Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I had such a big pan. Oh my god, that's impressive, because that pan is humongous. Yes, Rephr brushes, Blend Bunny brushes. Okay, I'm gonna need to try Blend Bunny, I think, next year. Hourglass Holiday Palette, Dior Concealer, Vanity Eyeshadow Palette, Gucci Eyeliners. Yes, I only have this one of the Gucci, but I love this one. Like, it's really great quality. I just don't use it a lot because of the color. But when I want a pastel blue moment, this is the one I always reach for. Yes, we have so many similarities. I love seeing, too, like, if you guys are subscribers, like, that you like the same stuff that I do. Oh, let's see. Most used gotta be blushes, Pat McGrath, Divine Rose, Sicily, Rosewood, and Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder, is it limited? Because you guys were fucking me up the other day because we put LE for Lisa Eldridge. But I think that was limited edition. Yes, I love it. Let's see. Patty, what shade are you in the Airflash? Let them know. Let them know. I have a rotation of foundation, so I'm not sure how long it truly lasts. Yeah, that's true. That was probably a dumb question on my part. NARS Climax palette, Charlotte Tilbury, Birkin Brown, and Thrive mascara most used. I need to get that Thrive mascara again. I was so excited when they were available at Ulta, but I need to get another one. But the Climax palette, that was magnifique. Oh, such a good palette. Slept on palette as well. Totally. Hands down, Rephr brushes for eyes. Samesies. 100%. I use retro every day. Yes. The NARS High Profile Cheek Palette is my most grabbed. Yes, I love that one for like this time of the year, because I think it has really beautiful blushes for like fall, winter. I thought about pulling that one, but I haven't really reached for it. Not nearly as much as like the Scott Barnes palette. That's definitely my most used. Let's see. I think I figured out we use the same products but have different favorites within those products. I love it. Tatcha Silk Canvas. I use the liquid silk canvas a lot. Definitely. Let's see. Westman Atelier, the Contour Stick and Biscuit. I love that one as well. I almost featured the M Cosmetics, the bronzer sticks, but I was like, no, I haven't really had them for that long, so I left those out, but you'll see those in a future video, 100%. Let's see, the palette is Balm. Yes, I totally agree. I got a shit ton of new makeup, but I still use the Balm highlighter every day. Mary Luminizer, oh my god, that is OG YouTube right there. Wow, that's impressive. That's like an oldie that never died. I love that. I reach for Viseart mattes almost every time. I just got, if you guys didn't see my last video, my haul, I just got that new Viseart palette. I think I'm going to use that in tomorrow's video for new makeup releases. So if you want to see what look I come up with, Let's see, the Bloom Blush Powder. Oh, not the cream. You would love it. It's a mini for $19. I told myself I'm not going to do her complexion products anymore. And then I ended up buying the, what do you call it? The Glam palettes, which those are fantastic as well. Let's see. My new Lisa Eldridge foundation is really good. I keep reaching for it. Yes, I kept saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a full size, but I still have yet to try like the rest of these shades. So I need to try these before I actually pick that up. But I am eyeing that one as well. Oh my God, I want the eyeliner. Thanks for reminding me. Get that 20% off at Sephora, girl. NARS Climax. It's so good. Vanity Cosmetics eyeshadow palette is my favorite thing I bought this month. Yes, bitch. It's so good. Like, honestly, this needs hype, man. It does. It needs more hype. Especially these. These three shadows are so gorgeous. It's like crushed diamond. Like, look at... I'm going to do it. We're going to do it for the video. Look at the, like, crushed diamond moment. Because I basically have this shade right here on probably the inner half. And then I have this shade all over the whole lid. So I laid this one down first and then put this on top. And it's gorgeous. Look at it. Let's do it. So beautiful. I love it. It needs more hype. Okay, we've been here for long enough, I think, for today. We have 82 thumbs ups, guys. Get it together. If you enjoyed yourself, okay? If you're new here, if you came over from Patty's channel, hi. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, don't forget to, you know, subscribe, turn on your notifications, like the video, follow me on all of my other social medias right here, especially TikTok and Instagram. That's where you can find me the most. But if you guys didn't yet, go follow Patty, okay? Look how fucking stunning. Patty, you're so beautiful. Go follow Patty Alonso. I have her down in the description box. I have her Instagram. What else is down there? Her video, her Instagram, her channel in general. Twitter, maybe? I've got all of her socials, like, down below. So if you guys go over to her channel, leave a comment in her video with, like, hashtag britches, and then I can go through and like them all. And now I can go watch Patty's video to see which favorites we have. Or which, I'm going to say, which, similar products that we have. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, like the video or thumbs it down. That's cool, too. If you were watching the live chat, if you're watching the playback, I appreciate you. And if you hate watching, I see you as well. Other than that, we will be back tomorrow night for new makeup releases at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, come through. Let me know what you guys want to talk about in the comments down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, bitches. Bye!